Spurs were the latest to beat the Lakers, and LeBron James rested. Greg Popovich tied Don Nelson in the all-time wins record. But this was an interesting game because after that 56-point performance against the Warriors on Saturday, LeBron James did not play in this one. And after this one, Russell Westbrook had some really interesting things to say at the podium. Let's listen to Russell.
100% stand behind my wife and how she's feeling because it's not just about this year. Right now, she's reached a point, and my family has reached a point to where it's really weighing on them. And it's very unfortunate, just for me personally, because this is just a game. This is just a game. This is not end-all, be-all. And when it comes to basketball, I don't mind the criticism of missing and making shots, but the moment it becomes where you know, my name is getting shamed, it becomes a issue.
Interesting, Jalen. He got me, because I have been very critical of Russell Westbrook this season. I think that he's deserved it. But then he brings up his kids at school and the pride they have in their last name. And he brings up his wife being harassed at games. And the human side of me really feels for Russell Westbrook. But the sports fan side of me is like, well, Russell Westbrook, you haven't played well. You're going to get criticized.
Unfortunately, as a public figure and as an athlete, we sacrifice our privacy and sometimes our sanity to play the game that we love so that we can move our families to the suburbs to buy the biggest houses and change the dynamics of our lifestyle for generations. That's what this game does for you. And there's going to be turbulence along the way. There's going to be criticism along the way. The one thing I learned, when you feed into negative criticism and you show the people that it actually gets to you, that make it worse. That make it worse. So we talked about it on this show, and I wrote down a couple of things that he said that are not accurate. This isn't just a game. This is livelihood. This is the end-all, be-all, because the Lakers want to win the championship, and so do they fans, and so does LeBron James. And he knew that when he left Washington to come play with them. He grew up in L.A. He watched Kobe growing up. He understands when you put on that purple and gold, it's championship or bust. That doesn't excuse fans to harass his family members, but calling him Westbrook when he's shooting bad ain't out of bounds. It's just not. And David Jacoby taught me you can be mean when you're funny. That's actually funny and mean. It really is. And so, like, here's the thing, man. Like, there's, of course, going to be a line that you shouldn't cross. You can't be assassinating his wife. You can't be giving threats to his kids. That's all out of bounds. But the unfortunate thing about all of this, Jacoby, is that now it's going to feel like he's not welcome in his hometown. That's what this is going to seem like. Because he's talking about what happens when his kids go to school, when his family's at the game, when his loved ones are out and about. And that's the unfortunate part. But when you're shooting as bad as he's shooting and they're playing as poorly as they're playing and they're under 500, he ain't the only one in the league on a losing team getting criticized. It's just that he's a high-profile top 75 player playing on the Los Angeles Lakers, playing heavy minutes. And then lastly, Jacoby, when you're defiant in your press conferences, I won the Magic Johnson Media Award in the early 2000s. I was playing for the Bulls, and we had the worst record in the league. So how did I win that award, Jacoby? Because I was still going to be stand-up regardless of the result. I was going to play 83 games if that's what it required. I was going to play 40 minutes if that's what it required. And I was going to show the fans, I was going to show everybody, even though we were losing, I'm going to still put in work. They're losing, and he ain't putting in work. So people going to harass you and talk trash. That just comes with the game. You heard Sauce Money. What the game made me, not what the fame made me. They're going to cheer you when you pass the big O. They're going to jeer you when you struggle. But railing against the media is something, as a player, you can never win. Here's why. Russell Westbrook won MVP before, right?
Yep.
You know who votes for that award?
The media.
So it ain't personal against him. It's just that he's struggling right now, and it's really unfortunate. Hopefully he can find a way to get it together, because I want to see the Lakers be a part of the play-in, and I want to see LeBron James a part of the playoffs.
Well, I want to see LeBron James play. LeBron James was not just in street clothes. It seemed like he didn't want to be recognized on the sideline of the game against the Spurs. He had the hood up and the sunglasses on. And remember, he just put up 56 points, but sat out because of significant soreness in his knee, something that's been bothering him kind of all season long. How much of a concern is his health if you're a Lakers fan, or is this just regular rest?
Well, LeBron probably texted the trainer and was like, I ain't gonna be able to go against the Spurs because I'm carrying these dudes and my back hurt. And then the trainer was like, you know what, you 37, you know, you up there in years, we'll put sore knee. You know what I'm saying? Because I was at the game and I saw LeBron go baseline and do a backwards dunk. His knee
look good, yes.
His knee look great.
When he's in the game, he certainly has explosion this season.
He deserves a night off. He deserves a night off the way he's been carrying these guys at his advanced age.
And if you take a look at the standings, they're not really going to move up or down significantly unless things continue to really go poorly for them. So they're kind of secure in their play-in spot, which, as you see there on the left side, is at the number 9 spot. I doubt the Pelicans catch up to them. I doubt they catch up to the Clippers, which means they're going to have to win not 1, but 2 straight play-in games just to get to play the Phoenix Suns in the playoffs. What a wild ride the playoffs are going to be. Jalen Rose, we're going to do something that we rarely do around here. We're going to talk about your Detroit Pistons.
Karen, that is Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A., today is International Women's Day, so happy International Women's Day to all the ladies. You've got this, keep going, and my heart and prayers, of course, both of ours, are with all the women in Ukraine.
As everybody knows that watches the show, I was raised by 5 women. So as far as I'm concerned, every day is National Women's Day, International Women's Day. That's just the way it goes. Men who were raised by women know this. We're smart enough to know that.
And Stephen A., we're going to begin the show with a very strong woman, so let's get right to it.
Get right to it.
Russell Westbrook's wife, Nina, took to Twitter to detail the criticism and death wishes her family has received in her husband's first season with the Lakers, tweeting this: "When I'm being harassed on a daily basis over basketball games and I'm having obscenities and death wishes for me and my family sent my way because you're expressing your truth, it's hard for me to get on board with that. As far as my husband goes, he is his own person. I don't need to defend him. I love and support him through all the unwarranted hate and negativity that he receives. I speak up and share my experience and knowledge for those who do not have a voice." Russell then also addressed the harassment they've been subject to, saying he and his wife are speaking out for 2 reasons: to defend the honor of the family name and to protect their children.
Once it starts to affect my family, my wife, even today, my mom said something about it today, and it affects them even going to games. Like I don't even want to bring my kids to the game because I don't want them to hear people calling their dad nicknames and out of their names for no reason because he's playing the game that he loves. And it's gotten so bad where, you know, my family don't even want to go to home games, to any game, because of